Hey there folks, JustPlay here bringing you another audio commentary, and it has been a while actually since we've had one, but today we have another game actually from the Zontic replay pack. It's fantastic replay pack actually. If you don't check it out, it comes out once a week and they're just such brilliant replays always. And ooh, we have WJ.Extra again. Like, we had him a couple days, or a couple weeks ago versus Battle, I believe, and we now have him in an Elf Mirror versus Nakls. I'm not sure if that's a capital I or a L, but it looks like this could be Elf Mirror on Turtle Rock, and it looks like both players will be going for the standard opening. Looks like actually the Ancient of War for WJ.Extra was actually started significantly earlier, and I think that's actually quite a good choice on this map. Just in case you do get close spawns, your opponent can bring a wisp in, try and pull the creeps onto you, and then go for some pressure, and then your Ancient of War is a bit damaged, and it all adds up. So certainly it's very nice to build it a bit earlier, and you don't lose too much. You just take one wisp out of gold, and it costs you sort of 10 or 20 gold. It's really not too bad, but obviously in this case it isn't actually going to help too much. Unfortunately, WJ.Extra is a very annoying dark green, which is so hard to see using this color system, but we should hopefully be okay. And both players will now produce one archer and then start their creeping, because they aren't close spawn. Such a quick thing to do. Although you can actually, some players put their Ancient of War here and then creep out this spot first, but I really don't like that, just because you generally have to put it down before you scout, and in that case you just don't really know what's coming if you are close spawns and you don't have your Ancient of War at home. And so even though you do have to creep slightly smaller camps, it's not quite as good. Look at the nice play here by Nakls, I'm going to call him Nakis maybe, just by pulling those creeps away for a slight second. WJ.Extra right on top of things, realizes what's going on, brings his archer in to tank a bit of damage, but make sure that the creeps stay with him and don't run too far out of the way, and so his creeping is to go as planned, and it's not going to be slightly delayed. And the Demon Hunters now are both going to be popping out. This one Demon Hunter actually did go for this wisp first, and looks like the kill actually went to the Ancient of War, who was guaranteed the kill, because obviously they do a huge amount of damage and then bonus to wisps, but at the same time that means that no experience there for Nakls. But it looks like we will have this Demon Hunter, or both Demon Hunters, cleaning us off now. We do have the Cloak of Shadows being dropped here, but we can see how much quicker WJ.Extra's creeping was. Actually got a better item, Slippers of Agility, but we can see how much further he actually got than Nakls after his creeping, just because he did make that Ancient of War start a bit earlier. I do think that is quite a good idea, just generally on this map, just because of the difficulty of those creeps, and not that they're difficult, but just because you can take them out so much quicker. And it looks like Mino Brigard could be having a slight engagement here. Now that Demon Hunter is obviously going to go down, but certainly with that fantastic item, WJ.Extra definitely on the best side of this fight, and a bunch of archers being produced here by Nakis. In terms of this map, actually no tech yet from Nakis. We might be seeing it in a second, but WJ.Extra has started his tech now. In terms of strategies on this map, one thing that's actually quite popular here that isn't popular on pretty much any other map is the large number of Ancients of War, and then push with a Naga and then a couple archers, and then just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, maybe throw in a couple dots, but stick at tier 2. That's quite popular on this map. It's quite effective as well, and I mean it's popular on other maps like Terranistan stuff as well, but certainly it's most popular I think on this map. And then there are some other strategies. You can go for bears. Occasionally you'll see dots. We'll have to see. We are seeing lots of archers being produced here by Nakis, and so maybe we're going to be seeing some sort of archer push. Obviously with that Nature's Blessing and Ancients of War, that can be really tricky to stop, especially before you get bears out and things like that. And if you're pushing with this and you get a Naga. Ooh, actually Nakis, he didn't buy the dust. Maybe did WJ.Extra steal the dust? Oh yeah, WJ.Extra does have the dust, which is very nice. It's going to mean that he can't get these archer kills, which would just be so damaging for WJ.Extra. Very nice there, and looks like we will have Nakis doing some bit of healing up here, and will want to be doing some more creeping, because he does have the archer advantage. He can't really be creeped back too effectively unless he's really being ambitious with his creeping, and so he really can't, and because of that he's going to have less gold when he hits tier 2, so he really is going to need to get an advantage up now to compensate for a slight deficit that he will have. Well, actually, has he started his tech? Yes, he has started his tech now, but no Hunter's Hall going up for him, so it looks like we possibly could be seeing dots. And meanwhile, same thing here from WJ.Extra. That is another popular strategy in Elf Mirror, going for those dots with tier 3, but it certainly has fallen out of favor quite a bit recently, and that's just because players, there's no one specific reason, but there's a couple little reasons why people have managed to be playing against it a bit better, managing to use their mobility and use their just sort of picking off individual dots a lot better, and really anticipating it better, buying more anti-magic potions, things like that. All of those things are adding up to sort of a regression, really, where that strategy was popular for a little while, but not as much anymore. Meanwhile, WJ.Extra doing everything a bit quicker, now hitting tier 2 a bit quicker, getting his Naga out. Meanwhile, the tech is just about to finish here for Nakls, but he does have a huge number of archers here, so he will be able to hold off any push that does come. And it looks like instead WJ.Extra going to be content to chase away these wisps, going to slow down that Naga being purchased, assuming that is what he wants to purchase, but almost certainly is. And we'll have to see what he's going to go for now that he has hit tier 2. We have seen a boot spot now for both Team Hunters, both of them at level 2, although Nak is slightly ahead there, and it looks like we will be seeing a Naga being bought probably by this Team Hunter now that he's out, and all these archers are going to come join up and maybe go for a push here now that, well, actually, WJ.Extra possibly, yeah, they both have 6 archers actually at this point, so no advantage for others, and actually losing an archer, or losing a wisp there as well, WJ.Extra, so really very, very even so far this game, but ooh, bad positioning here for Nak, is running straight into this battle, but his Naga being a bit focused down, but really that Team Hunter being so far ahead of all the archers going to mean that he takes a lot more damage than he needs to, and keeping your Team Hunter alive in enough mirror is just so important, and even keeping him at high health just so he can't be under threat is so important. When we can see both Team Hunter doing a lot of tagging here, WJ.Extra running his Team Hunter back down to 41 hit points, TP's away at the last second, very nice, and then Nak is forced to TP his Team Hunter away as well. Wow, such a close mirror so far. Both players just focusing down those Team Hunters and managing to get them down at just about the same time. Both of them being forced to TP away. Very unfortunate that Nakas couldn't just force that TP and then get his Team Hunter out of there by any means possible, and that would have just been so nice for him. Meanwhile, we are just seeing archers at this point, and that's an interesting strategy here from both players. It looks like we are eventually going to be seeing some Ancients of Wind with those tier 3 dots. But actually, that's not too effective just against archers. You really need something else to complement that. And on a map with no mercs as well, it's going to be pretty tricky. Just obviously those archers do a huge amount of damage to the dots, and then as well as that, just cycloning archers is pretty ineffective. So you can only really use it on heroes, which it's good, but I mean there's only so many cyclones you can actually use. And then when they get invuln pots, magic invulnerability and magic immunity potions, things like that, your dots start to become a bit useless. So we're gonna have to see how WJ.Extra wants to play it after he realizes what strategy is really being gone for here. Nice creep jack here, good to be able to do a bit of damage to the Naga, who's eventually staffed away. Staff actually for WJ.Extra as well if he takes too much damage on his Demon Hunter, and at this point actually he might be better to actually do a bunch of attacking on his Demon Hunter. He ran his Demon Hunter far too far back, and now his Naga's in a lot of trouble. He will have to pass the staff. No, he doesn't. He loses his Naga. Oh my god, WJ.Extra now in a really bad position after having run his Demon Hunter far too far back, and unfortunately not having made that correctly, and oh, but the Demon Hunter goes down as well. WJ.Extra now in a lot of trouble. This is so bad. This Naga, if she can get far enough forward, can do a whole bunch of damage, but it looks like that's not going to happen. If the boots were dropped now, it might help. I think it's too late. There's not going to be any more damage that's going to be done here by Nakls, but a fantastic lead now being taken by him, and it looks like, ooh, WJ.Extra running another archer behind to possibly try and save both archers, but I'm not sure it's going to work. He might just lose a high hit point archer instead of a low hit point archer. Will he be able to get it away? No, it looks like he's going to lose that high hit point archer, and now he's going to lose a low hit point archer, so oh, that's so tragic for him now, and he's just going to be forced to camp in his base alongside this Tree of Eternity, which has so much. Look at that, 60 to 74 damage, so much damage, and in conjunction with -4 armor as well. And WJ.Extra's now giving this strategy away. No secret stuff. Oh my god, the Nagapasa, just the right time though. Demon Hunter down to 10 hit points, just so low, 13 hit points. Will he be able to survive here? Oh yes, he will be able to. So lucky there. Oh my god, I can't believe that Demon Hunter survived. I think there might have even been a miss there from that Naga using evasion. Fantastically close play here by Nakls, really playing close to the bone. We can see just all these small plays really do add up to such a huge lead. Nice staff there just to try and claw his way back into this game, but Extra can't afford to be using any moon juice. Doesn't even have really much moon juice at this point, so really is in a very bad position. This Naga has bought a potion of healing, which is a good precaution just to always really do. Yeah, just having a level 1 Naga is so weak. You do need to spend money to keep it alive, especially against such focusing power like bunch of archers, and then the slowing power of the Naga, then the huge DPS of the Demon Hunter, who has actually bought, looks like Nakls has actually bought an invuln pod as well, and dropping his Pendant of Energy as well, which he really should pass to the Naga at this point, just because you're going to get most of your mana just burnt away anyways. This Naga is still only level 1 for Nakls, but he does have a level 3 Demon Hunter, which is very nice. And looks like we do have Demon Hunter level 2 only for Extra, who has finally got it back, but he's so far behind now. Only, what, 5 archers and 1 adept dot. And tier 3 training is just starting now, but it's going to be a very long time actually till he gets it out. And look, we do have Clarity Potion being used by this Naga, who has now picked up the Pendant of Energy. Should probably keep it dropped just until the Clarity runs out, because it's unlikely this could be an invisible hero. You could even create a wall of archers to try and block off the item if you're really dedicated to it, but it's not going to be too big a loss. And this Naga now with 480 maximum mana, more maximum mana than maximum health, really need to keep away from that Demon Hunter as a result. And the Demon Hunter for WJ.Extra now picking up a Potion of Greater Mana, which is going to be an alright item if you pass it to that Naga once she gets to a much higher level. Those Forks of Lightning can be so useful, focusing on that Demon Hunter and really forcing him to get out of the battle while he still has high health, just because of the implied threat of the Fork of Lightning coming in. And we do have some adept trained dots for Nakas now running around. I wonder, he does have this master training actually done slightly after WJ.Extra, but it looks like he's just gonna wait to pick a fight until after that's done, and then he could be in a very strong position after that. And we do have to see WJ.Extra. It looks like he's camping out, but he has brought a bunch of wisps with him, probably to get off them detonates, just to try and get rid of the mana on the enemy dots, as well as just getting it off the Naga is pretty useful as well. Normally you can get most of the mana off the Demon Hunter just with mana burns. And ooh, Tinker being picked up third. Obviously Tinker picked up with whenever you get dots for obvious reasons, though it's certainly less obvious, I think, when you're going against another elf has so many range units, as opposed to when you're going against an orc, just because they have so many melee units. It's really so useful to try and block off their pathing a bit. But certainly Dark Ranger is also another very popular choice, but nothing wrong with going for that Tinker third, because the Tinker is so strong, and against the huge DPS of his opponent's army, because of all those archers he did get, and because of his heroes, the Tinker isn't certainly a very strong hero to be getting at this stage. And looks like both players actually bringing a lot of wisps with them, just because you don't need a huge amount of lumber at this point, unless you're going to expand. I mean, you need some for dots, but not a huge amount by any means. And then items just cost gold, so generally you can afford to have your wisp with you. You lose a bit of mining time, but certainly whenever you stop to creep, you can just put them on some trees. You can even put them on trees just a bit away, just to act as scouts, just to tell you if the army is coming, and maybe even buy you a small amount of time. And a WJ.Extra doing a bit more creeping, picking up Pendant of Energy, which will be nice on the Naga, also will be nice on the Tinker, but what you have to bear in mind is the Tinker is melee, so certainly very likely to be mana burnt at some point, and you don't want to be wasting all your mana just on taking extra damage, basically. And it looks like will we be seeing an attack now by Nakas here. He's moving in, but he actually is going to go for it, and he doesn't have a third hero, but he could be in a bit of trouble as a result, just because the with 2 heroes, this is a sort of a nice choke point in conjunction with the Pocket Factory that could be very strong. And we do have a TP now coming out. Oh, this is very bad timing for WJ.Extra. Just as he started creeping, he took a shockwave, and then he had to TP home, so he took a bunch of damage, didn't get any items or experience, and now immediately getting his Tinker cycling, but almost level 2 on this Tinker. Very nice creeping here. In magic, immunity potion being used by the Demon Hunter, so important, just especially in conjunction with that orb where you can just kill units so quickly. Fork Lightning being used by WJ.Extra as well. Lots of mana left in these Moonos, but oh, nice staff there on that Tinker, down to 12 hit points, and he's staffed down home. We'll be able to heal up on the Moonos and get away and get right back into this battle. Meanwhile, Naka's taking a lot more damage on Demon Hunter, but does still have a magic immunity potion and a healing potion, so he probably will be fine. Lots and lots of low units now for a WJ.Extra in the back, especially these dots, which he can't afford to be losing, especially considering lots of them have a bunch of mana left. Some of that mana being used to get that Demon Hunter in the air. No invuln pot, so that Demon Hunter going to be in the air a fair bit, but finally using his magic immunity potion. And this Naga in the back now for WJ.Extra has purchased a healing potion as well, and a mana burn being used on this dot, which is very low. Tinker now down to very low hit points and does die. He actually used the cluster rockets as well. This Naga down to 13 hit points and does use a TP, and will the Hunter be able to stay alive? Down to 30 hit points and TP's away. Oh my god, so close there by both players. Just fantastic micro there by WJ.Extra. Unfortunately, he did lose that Tinker, probably because his staff was still on cooldown, which is a bit unfortunate, but I'm not even sure what language that is. But it looks like we will have there's that Tinker finally being brought back. He did hit level 2, and he did, as I say, get those cluster rockets, which is quite interesting. I guess he does have this Pendant of Energy, which he could pass, but as I say, mana can become quite scarce, although actually, having said that, it's quite nice to be able to burn all your mana at the beginning of the battle, so that sorry, to actually use your mana so that it can't be burnt. Unfortunately, colloquialism of using is burning, and looks like he actually used a detonator on himself to get rid of some fairy fires. He doesn't want his opponent to know what he's doing. Maybe it's some tricky plays up his sleeve. I wonder if he's going to try and take a sneaky expansion, something like that. Somewhere like taking it here can be pretty good if your opponent knows that that place has been crapped a long time ago, or you sell your item. Just it's important not to have it be too obvious, where you come back from a somewhere far away and you have the item that's natural to this place, and you just raises suspicion. But WJ.Extra at such low hit points now, he can't afford to be doing any creeping really whatsoever. Having to use a healing scroll out of battle, that's really a sign of desperation. Nakls is in a much better position. He has used almost all his moon juice, actually does have a bit left, but I won't be able to use it and get back into any battle. But looks like he's going to be trying to pick another fight here. Yeah, that's the protection troll, but actually misses 2 archers, which is a bit unfortunate. Doesn't have a 3rd hero yet, which is always a bit of a disadvantage. And this Tinker now on the run, losing all his mana just before he could put down a pocket factory. Unfortunately, only 9 mana away, but it looks like this Demon Hunter now going to take a bit of focus, could be forced to run back, and it does have a whole bunch of armor though, 8 armor, really going to make this Demon Hunter a huge tank. And but a couple Fairy Dragons now, those are so nice to be using in this situation, especially at the beginning of the battle, where a bunch of Fairy Fires are being cast, and it looks like this Naga now in a lot of trouble here. For Nakls is going to be focused down, possibly. Yes, he does go down. Very nice play there. And this Demon Hunter now for WJ.Extra in a lot of trouble, being forced to use an invuln pot, and doesn't have any other way out. He will have to be staffed out if he when that invuln pot does run up. There it goes that staff. And now this Demon Hunter for Nakls is really going to be able to do a whole bunch of damage. The Naga Sea Witch in a lot of trouble does use a healing potion, and now this Tinker is going to be able to do a whole bunch of tanking, because he is still quite high hit points. But it looks like this WJ.Extra has brought the Demon Hunter back very low, and it is focused down by Nakls, who now hits level 5 on his Demon Hunter. Oh my god, that's such a huge level. It's going to be able to mean that he can get rid of mana so quickly. This Tinker almost enough mana to use a pocket factory, but actually uses a cluster rocket instead to try and slow down this Demon Hunter and just do a bit more damage, just do damage wherever he can, just because that Demon Hunter isn't back, so he needs some form of DPS. This Demon Hunter being run back at 14 hit points. Oh my god, now the Tinker being focused down while he tries to run away, so close to him. It looks like both players took huge beatings there. I'm not even sure who took the worst beating, probably Nakls, but just because he does still have that Demon Hunter out, it means he can go back, try and heal it up, though as I say, he has almost no moon juice left, and he can heal it up a bit at least, and then at that point he can try and take another fight. If he had lost that level 5 Demon Hunter, this game would probably be over, I think, but it's just going to be so tricky for him to heal up this Demon Hunter cost effectively. Obviously, even using a Moonstone can be quite annoying, because it means that your opponent's going to get a whole bunch of extra moon juice as well. And there's actually a lot of moon juice left here for WJ.Extra, who's actually built another moon wall, one more than he needs to. And that's like, ooh, a Moonstone actually being used. That's how desperate we can see Nakls is. He's actually going to give his opponent more moon juice, because he has more moon walls, and then he's actually going to get, just so he can heal up his Demon Hunter, even using a Clarity as well, and possibly going to buy a healing potion just at the end. It seems like quite a wise thing to do at this point. And we do have this level 3 Naga, really all that's left here for WJ.Extra, in conjunction with a couple units, and you can see he's not even going to be detonating a Wisp on his Archer, because he's going to be pretty pressed for gold at this point, and he doesn't want to ever have to be rebuilding Wisps, especially if he ever wants to take an expansion. But it looks like that isn't in the cards for him quite yet. We will have to see what the game plan is going to be for these players. After this, we do have the Demon Hunter has bought an anti-magic potion and a potion of healing. Those are good, both could be very useful just for keeping this Demon Hunter alive. You're trying to get him tied his way over to level 6, at which point he's really going to be in a fantastic position. Is this Naga not being revived? This is very odd. Gonna have to tavern it back, I guess. But that's an interesting choice there. Finally, though, getting it back now, that's going to take a long time, much longer than it should have, and in the meantime, he's not going to be able to do any creeping, at least not for any experience on his heroes, because that Demon Hunter has hit level 5, and meanwhile, WJ.Extra can do a whole bunch of creeping, really get possibly 4/4, and once his Tinker comes back, he can get a level 4 for that, or level 3, sorry, for that as well, probably before we see our next engagement. But Nakls is gonna go creep this out, gonna say, if I can't get any experience, I may as well get some good items, and also you get some healing from this, so as long as you finish off the camp, ooh, he has to be careful not to take too much damage, using Cyclone on the Ogre Lord, just so he can actually finish off the creeping. That's a bit unfortunate, and a sign that these aren't the top players in the world, just because You don't really want to be wasting your cyclones when you only have 4 dots like that. If you have more, it's okay. And actually, one of the best plays that I've ever seen is WCG.08, I think, where Moon cycloned the Ogre Lord on the other side of this map against Grubby, just because Grubby was coming in for a creep jack and had used an invuln pot on his Demon Hunter. Wow, Tome of Experience, actually fantastic items there, and a Medallion of Courage. Gonna be pretty useful there. Gonna give Strength and Intelligence, which is, I mean, you want Agility, but certainly on that Naga, Strength and Intelligence are the 2 things you absolutely want. So it'd be very, very nice to be able to pass that. And you know, we will have this camp being crept out here by WJ.Extra. Gonna be picking off probably the Ogre Lord if he can first. He has cast Fairy Fire on it. I'm not sure whether or not he's actually using it on autocast or not, but hopefully he wouldn't be. And hopefully, ooh, actually this archer could take a lot of damage from that. I can go Chain of Endurance. I'd love that item normally, but in the situation where you have so much damage coming from things like Cyclone, which don't actually, or not damage, but so much of your actual army ability is coming from things like Cyclone, and running away is certainly important, but since you have staffs and stuff like that, it's less important. Certainly it's better in other situations, but just as generally as an item, I think it's fantastic. And you know, we do have 1 wisp detonating there, so we can get up to 50 food count. That's actually an interesting choice there, but I guess he has enough lumber to tie himself over for a while, and actually it looks like only 30 gold left in this mine, and probably, yeah, this one's actually mined out here for WJ.Extra, who's now researching Nature's Blessing so that he can walk it out quicker. And that's actually one thing that's quite interesting, is that it's usually quicker to research Nature's Blessing even after you've mined out and then walk your Tree of Eternity than to actually wait, or to actually just walk in and wait for it to get there, because it just takes so long. And you know, big fight now going on. Potion Invulnerability being dropped, and neither player being able to get to it. Finally, as the Naga gets to it, a nice steal there, and it looks like this Demon Hunter in a fantastic position, going to be able to do a whole bunch of damage. But Cyclone's now being used by both sides. Some Dispels will be pretty useful from these wisps. Magic Invulnerability Potion being used now for Nakls, who's very close now to that level 6 on his Demon Hunter, and actually his Naga's taking a bit of damage, but does still have that magic or that Invulnerability Potion. And so many low units here for WJ.Extra, level 6 now for its Demon Hunter, enough mana for Metamorphosis, and he uses it. And this Tinker now going to be able to do a whole bunch of damage, or going to take a whole bunch of damage. Actually, no, going for the Naga first, which he has the staff on, so he won't be able to staff it away. But it looks like this Naga actually will just be allowed to run away. But the Tinker does go down, because that's just so much damage out from the Demon Hunter when in Metamorphosis form. It has about a TP as well, so he can stick in this battle for a long time. Maybe using an Invul Pot. Yes, he uses it now. We'll be able to pick off his last couple units, but we'll be forced to leave the Demon Hunter, although he should probably go for this Fairy Dragon first, because Demon Hunter gonna eventually go down 4 Nagas, and oh, the Naga runs back in and is focused down, because obviously he was hoping to be able to focus the Demon Hunter down while he's running away, but this Demon Hunter just putting up too much damage, just turns around, focuses down that Naga before she can slow him down. And the Demon Hunter now could be on the run. Gonna actually not want to use any Moon Walls at this point, just because you want to wait until the Metamorphosis has run out and you can use them more efficiently. But it looks like actually he is going to use a couple just now, and this is going to be very interesting to see how WJ.Extra wants to play this. He's 2 levels behind on his Demon Hunter. He really needs a level 5, and a level 6 would be fantastic. But it looks like actually both players are trying to work out who's expanding. Nakls is actually expanding here, and actually going to be walking his Tree of Eternity probably here, so that's gonna be interesting for him. Gonna go from basically 0 to 2 mines. Actually, no, he's not. He's gonna go from 0 to 1 by the looks of things. Lots of wisp detonating here, and we will have to see if this Tree of Life is gonna be able to finish. He could finish, but at that point, he's gonna have risk losing it altogether. And is actually, now that he has his Naga, he probably should be able to keep this alive barely, and force this Demon Hunter to get out of here. And looks like this Demon Hunter actually gonna be forced to use his Invuln Pot, which is quite interesting, and maybe even a TPO. We're gonna have to see how committed he is. Will this Tree of Life actually go down? This could be very impressive if he does, but I don't think he will be able to. No, it isn't. And then this Tree of Life can just uproot and eat a tree, and maybe he could even do it. No, if he'd done it while the Demon Hunter was still around, he could have even sort of just added insult to injury, and just made it very obvious that that whole attempt was futile. But it looks like WJ.Extra actually, with his only mine here, really gonna have to make the most of this mining. And this Tree of Life actually not uprooting, and this Tree of Eternity, you can see what I say about getting Nature's Blessing, just so slow to walk it there. And plus, I mean, you end up with Nature's Blessing, which is such a nice upgrade, as well as being able to mine quicker, and chances are you have a whole bunch of lumber anyways. WJ actually is 1100 lumber, and Nakls I think is less, yeah, 264 lumber, but 0 gold, so it really needs to keep these Trees of Eternity, or actually his wisps alive. I hope he has some. Otherwise, he's gonna have to do some creeping, sell some items, things like that. And it looks like we do have this tree of 35. It's still not uprooted because obviously he would lose that entangled gold mine. But if he had done it just as it finished, it would be so much nicer. And we do have this mine now finished, and it's a WJ.Extra. Actually, despite being one tree down, is actually significantly outmining Nakls, who only has one wisp on gold there, and I think that's because he's actually out of wisps because he brought so many out with him and never really rebuilt them. And I'm not sure what happened to his gold ones. Oh, actually no, his gold ones are here, weren't they? Yeah, and they all detonated. So yeah, very, very bad position here for Nakls, whose economy is really slowed to a halt. Though he does certainly have a massive hero level advantage, even if he only does have 2 heroes to the 3 of WJ.Extra, and it looks like we will have the Demon Hunter coming in here, but he's not going to be able to do anything. Maybe take out this entangled gold mine, but it looks like the Demon Hunter is close enough behind that he will be able to stop this from going on, and this is so important, even though actually I guess Nakls doesn't really have the wisp to be supporting this. I'm surprised Nakls hasn't sold any items here, Actually, I guess he doesn't really want to sell any of these items, but the Pendant of Energy could be alright to sell. Cyclone being used, but he's not going to get us around here with 3 units, but looks like he will give him a chance to be able to catch up and do a bit more damage. Maybe even get off 1 mana burn. No, not enough mana on either heroes for another mana burn. But with this Fairy Fire being cast, it means that there's just so much damage being taken. It actually is going to stop WJ.Extra from being able to engage now that this entangled gold mine is being taken down. Is this not going to... No, the Naga's not even close to back. The Tinker's even further away. This is such a bad position now for WJ.Extra. It does have 1 low hit point Fairy Dragon, which he can maybe use to do some harass or something. I actually put it on this Tree of Life and just hope to get the kill by luck or something. It looks like this entangled gold mine, it's taking a lot of damage. It is being repaired, but it looks like the Steam Hunter running in, but so outgunned at this point. Really, really such a bad position for him, and there's Naga now going to come. If you do get off 1 shot and then being forced, ooh, nice micro here, and will he be able to save all his wisps? Just as they are focused down. Obviously, eventually this entangled gold mine will go down, and then all the low wisps will be exposed. But nice micro. Look at all these low wisps. Just being able to pop back into that gold mine. But it looks like the Demon Hunter now taking a lot of focus. Goes down yet again. Oh my god, WJ.Extra now in such a bad position. Just no heroes really against 2 very high level heroes, and looks like unless he can do some magic with the low amount of with his very, very low supply count, he's going to be out of this game. Looks like all these 4 wisps, or all these 5 wisps are now in a lot of trouble. All detonate though, and now only 18 food for WJ.Extra as opposed to 21 for Nakls. So really, no other player with huge food count. And I think the big difference though is that it's low hero levels versus high hero levels, and another player actually has a huge number of wisps at this point. Only 2 wisps in this gold mine, 4 in this, but certainly that's a lot better than 0 overall. And this entangled gold mine finally being rebuilt, and it looks like we will have finally this mine being saturated, and looks like, oh, the Demon Hunter's actually been bought back. That's very, very smart to do in conjunction with this Naga. He'd actually be very smart to sell off this Ango Chain of Endurance at this point, but let's knock it now for Nakls is very, very low, does get focused down because of that Naga, so effective, just slowing down individual heroes. Now Cyclone being used as well. Naga does hit level 5, and the Demon Hunter hits level 5 as well. Very, very nice here, and now this level 6 Demon Hunter could be in a lot of trouble. This bird form actually being used on that dot, not something you see often. Nice to get away, but certainly what it does mean is that Demon Hunter can get off a couple extra shots because he does become ranged, and this dot actually being brought back in now, and this Demon actually the level 6 Demon Hunter gonna be forced to run home, but needs to get some more mana. Then you can probably use Metamorphosis. It's definitely off cooldown. Needs to be careful though. Does actually TP home just to be safe because he doesn't want to be slowed down by that Naga by 1 straight shot. But he does TP to his Tree of Eternity, which is right here, not to his Tree of Life. Oh my god, huge mistake. He now loses his Demon Hunter, and now WJ.Extra in a fantastic position. Really, really amazing. He does obviously he's still being massively outmined, but as long as he can just keep the momentum with him. Level 6 Demon Hunters are so expensive to buy back at that tavern. Actually, if you watch the tavern as well with his with a wisp or something, that could be so nice. Needs to make sure though not to take any damage at all with his on the Steam Hunter from that Tree of Eternity. Finally, Wisp coming back in to repopulate this mine, but a WJ.Extra going to take a long time because he did lose all 5 of those Wisps earlier on, and now actually going to be able to take out a couple Wisps as well. No, he shouldn't be taking damage. Fortunately, it was a miss actually, so this Demon Hunter does stay alive, and now he needs to go straight for this mine, which is so low because he didn't repair it. Oh my god, Nakls could be throwing this game away right now, but maybe WJ.Extra doesn't realize. Maybe he wants to play it safe. He knows that he was massively outmined, so maybe he thinks that those heroes have been tavern back, and it looks like an archer could be brought back out. Actually, yeah, all the units are here, gonna be taverning back that Demon Hunter, but such a huge mistake. I think Really, it would be so nice as well if WJ.Extra was just watching this and knew immediately when it came back, when that Demon Hunter had 0 mana and half health. That'd be so nice, because now WJ.Extra has 3 heroes versus better heroes, but only one at the moment. Another one will be coming back, but certainly we will be having eventually Nakls with a better army and better heroes. Apart from he'll have fewer heroes, so we'll have to see the influence of that. We'll have nice detonates that are going to really diminish the ability of those 3 heroes, because that's really all these heroes have is their spells. And then the Demon Hunter obviously has some nice DPS as well, but Mana Burn, Fort Lightning, Cold Arrows, and Pocket Factory are all huge skills, and so important to have mana for, especially considering how tight they are in terms of. Oh, actually no, WJ.Extra not even close to being out of Moon Juice. He's been very smart in saving it up. He'll be able to use it all now if he wants, and then go try and pick a fight while we do have much less here for Nakls. And it looks like we will have the Demon Hunter finally running in with the rest of his army. He is almost level 7 now. Gonna immediately go into Metamorphosis form so he can take out this Tree of Eternity, or at least try to. But I think it's gonna be pretty tricky for him to, or WJ surely not going to allow that, because all his hopes rely on that. But maybe gotta wait for a couple more dots to come out first, because this tree can certainly take a beating, and that's why lots of people will go for this Entangled Gold Mine first, and why they've actually been doing that themselves so far this game. It looks like we do have a very confident Nakls. Maybe WJ.Extra trying to wait out the Metamorphosis. No, he's not. He's finally coming into this battle. He's going to get off a couple mana burns at the start of the battle, and then try and take out individual units. Taking out 1 dot there, really not fantastically placed dots here, but now that they're in a bit better position, they can start to get off some Cyclones. And looks like this Tree of Eternity taking a huge beating. Could actually go down maybe, and so it's really going to be up to WJ.Extra. Yes, it does go down, and now Nakls is going to be able to run away. He's going to need to make sure he doesn't get Cyclones around or anything, but he loses a 2nd dot there. Fork Lightning going off from this Naga, but it's on some heroes which are at high enough health. That's a better Fork Lightning, taking 3 units down to very low health. Fantastic play here by WJ.Extra, but he is now losing his dots. He has no dots left, and no expansions left, but looks like this Naga does go down, and Metamorphosis now times out. Oh my god, this Demon Hunter now being slowed. Will he be able to get away? He has been slowed yet again, but it looks like he will just about be able to get out of here. And this Demon Hunter, it's level 7 Demon Hunter, high health, or medium high health, running away from a low health level 5 Demon Hunter, so close to level 6. If you could get that kill, that would definitely be the game. And meanwhile, it looks like this Demon Hunter going to run in, just needs to keep his mind running for as long as possible so he can buy back his heroes, but he needs to be careful if he loses Demon Hunter. Oh my god, both Demon Hunters so low now, which will go back. Nice staff, and then gets a kill. Fantastic play there by WJ.Extra, and there's the GG from Nakls. He doesn't manage to finish off the huge game we had there. Really amazing play there by WJ.Extra. So close. Think how many sort of 13, 14 hit point health heroes we had in that game. Really amazing. I hope you enjoyed that game. I'm going to try and bring you some more very soon. I know I say that a lot, and then I just took like a week break or so, but I've been pretty busy with real life, and I hope to bring you some more games. Check out the Zontic replay packs. As I say, they're so fantastic, and I think there's another one that's been released today, and this was from one a couple weeks ago, but I'm definitely going to check out some more of those games and try and bring you some more of these fantastically close, really interesting games. Hopefully they will all be elf mirrors as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, folks, and I'll see you very shortly for some more games. Thanks.